Welcome to edupediaworld.com. In today's video, we will learn about electric current. So, in this chapter, we will first discuss the basics of electric current. What is electric current? What is electricity? How does the electric current flow? What makes the current to flow? And thereafter, we will also talk about good conductors and bad conductors of electricity. We will talk about what is electroplating, what is galvanization. So let's move ahead and discuss what is electric current. So what do you think is electric current? You must have seen whenever you switch on, let's say the fan, for example, you switch on the fan starts moving. Or whenever you switch on the switch, immediately the bulb glows. So what happens? The switch is somewhere else, whereas the fan is on the ceiling. The switch is somewhere else, whereas the light is somewhere on the wall. So how is that from such a large distance, just by switching on and putting it off, the light glows or the fan moves, and then these appliances switch on and switches off. So what happens? What makes these appliances switch on and switch off? Also, there are various other examples you must have seen in your homes. We have other electrical appliances like the washing machine, the fridge, the cooler, the hair dryer, and all these what is shown in these pictures. All these appliances are all, they switch on and they switch off just by mere pressing a particular switch. So what makes it, how does it happen? It is all because of electric current. There is electric current flowing. When you switch on a switch, what happens is the electric current flows and it makes the fan move. When you press a particular switch, the electric current flows and it makes this bulb glow. And similarly, the rest of the appliances at home. So what is electric current? But what happens in the case of a mobile? How does your mobile phone works? It doesn't have any switch, that you switch on and off. Of course, the phone, after switching on, it works. How does it work? That is because it has a battery inside. There are other examples like the toys you must have seen. You put those cells inside the toys and the music starts playing inside those toys, the toy starts moving. So these particular things will have battery inside it and not a particular switch. So these are the examples, like we have the computer, we have the camera, we have the remote control devices, the guitars, the mobile phones, the toys. So these are certain things which work because of batteries. We plug batteries inside it. So both the things are different. One works on pressing a switch, it will work, and the other works when we insert a battery. So is there any difference between both the kinds of equipments? No, there is no difference. All these equipments, whether it is a fan or a bulb or a mobile phone or the electronic toys, each and everything works because of electric current. There is electric current flowing which makes them work. In these cases, it is a battery which makes them work. But through battery, what happens is, it is again that electric current which is flowing, which is making the phone works, which is making the guitar works, the toys, make noise and sound and move. So it is the battery. So both, even in the battery, there is electric current. So now, with this introduction, let us talk about electric current. So these are the questions we are going to answer after we go through the presentation, the video. So what happens because of electricity? How does the electricity flows? What are the reactions taking place when we switch on the plug? What are the reactions taking place when we plug in the battery into these devices? So you will be able to answer these questions after you have gone through the video. So what is electric current? The flow of charge is nothing but the flow of electricity. What are these charges? Now see, you see here this cell. This you must have seen in your houses. This is a simple cell. This is a battery, right? So on the battery, you must have seen there is this positive sign and there is this negative sign. So this is one end of the battery and this is the other end of the battery, right? This is the positive end and this is a negative end. So with this introduction, let me first talk. I said the flow of charge is nothing but the flow of current or the electric current, right? What are these charges? Remember, there are three kinds of charges. One is a positive charge, which you see here. One is a negative charge. The third kind of charges are what are called the neutral charge. So we're going to talk about these charges later. When each of these charge move, let's say the positive charge is moving or the negative charge is moving, then it is nothing but the flow of electric current, the flow of electricity. So any substance which has charge and charges are moving, which carry some kind of charge, let's say even if a particular substance is positively charged or it is negatively charged, it is called a charged substance. So in the next video we will talk about charges in detail, but as of now just remember that there are three kinds of charge. It is positive, negative and neutral charge. So whenever each of these charge is moving, we say that the current is moving, the electricity is flowing. So now again I am showing you this battery, and we have, as you see, the positive end over here and the negative end over here. So this diagram is only to tell you that anytime you connect this battery to a simple circuit, the direction of the charges is as shown in the diagram. That is, the charges will always flow from the negative end of the battery. They'll follow this path and they will go towards the positive end of the battery. So how it happens, I will be showing you in the later diagrams. But as of now, you should remember that this is the path in which the electric current is flowing. That means the negatively charged particles from here will flow into the positively charged end, right? So this is the direction of the current. So now you know that the movement of these charged particle is nothing but electric current, right? So how do we measure the electric current? Let's say, for example, let's say if I open a tap, so how much of the water will come out of the tap in, let's say, 1 hour or in half an hour? So that is called the similarly in this case, how many particles will flow. So that is a measure of how much is the electric current. Measure of electric current is nothing but how many particles are flowing. So that is how we measure the electric current. So this we'll talk about later. Now see, what I have done is, this is a battery, a simple battery which with the positive and the negative end. I have connected this battery like this. So this is a positive end and here this is a negative end. And if I have a bulb, I connect this bulb here and I have the simple switch here. So this becomes a simple circuit. We will talk about this kind of circuit in the later videos also. But this is how you make a simple circuit. So what happens is, let's say if I switch on this circuit, the circuit is complete now. So the electric current will start flowing and the bulb will glow. What happens if I switch it off? The bulb will not glow. So this is a simple circuit. So let us now again discuss about the simple circuit. So what I have done here is, I have taken a bulb and I have connected this bulb to this very simple circuit. So this is what is this? This is the battery. In the previous diagram, I have had a battery here with the positive and the negative end, but now instead of showing a battery itself, the battery is always symbolized as this. This is one is the big line and the other is a small line. So a big line and a small line will symbolize a battery. This is how we depict a battery in this form. So the big end, the bigger line over here, this shows the positive end of the battery, and the smaller line shows the negative end of the battery. So this is a battery, right? Now this is, I had in the previous diagram, I had shown you a switch here. So this symbolizes a switch, that is a key. So let's say, as of now, what do you see here? The switch is open. When the switch is open, I said the charges, the direction of the flow of the electric current is always from the negative end, that is from this end, to the positive end like this. So but what happens here, I have shown that the key is open here, that is the circuit is not complete. So what happens? These negatively charged particles will not be able to cross over this. So in this case, the entire circuit is incomplete. And when the circuit is incomplete, the bulb will not glow because the bulb requires some electric current to glow. It requires some kind of energy. And what is that energy? For the bulb to glow, the energy is nothing but the electric current. So now because the negatively charged particles will not be able to cross and over this, and they will not be able to reach till this bulb, so that's why the bulb is not glowing, because the circuit we say is an open circuit. It's an open circuit, right? So let's see what happens in the second case. In the second case, I have this key and now I have closed this key. So that means closing this key means I have put the switch on. Now when the key is closed here, immediately the negatively charged particle will start moving and they'll be able to cross over this and reach the bulb and again flow towards the positive terminal. That is, the particles are flowing from the negative terminal towards the positive terminal, and that's how they complete the entire circuit. When the circuit is complete, the bulb gets the required electric energy, that is the electric charges, and because of that electric charges, the bulb starts glowing. So in this case, the bulb was not glowing because the circuit wasn't complete and the bulb was not getting the required electrical energy. However, in this case, when the circuit is complete, the bulb gets the required electrical energy for it to glow, and that's why in the second case the bulb glows. Right? So that's why I said movement of these charged particles is nothing but it is electric current. So the bulb in the second case is getting the required electric current for it to glow. Right? Let's move ahead. So what do we understand by electric current? How do we define electric current? Electric current is nothing but it is the movement of the charged electrons. This is called current. Right? And this electric current causes lightning. You must have seen whenever it is raining and we see thunder, the noise of thunder. We also see lightning in the sky. So that lightning is also because the charged particles are moving. How it happens, we're going to see it later. But this lightning is again caused because of movement of the charged particles. The fan is moving. How does it move? When we switch on, when we put the switch on, the fan gets the required electric current, the required electric supply, and it starts moving. The same is the case with the lights. If we put the switch on, then the light glows. So all these examples, all these equipments and the lightning is all because of the movement of charged electrons. Right? Now, so again, the force moving the electrons is what is called as the voltage. So what is voltage? Let's say these are the negatively charged particles we talked about. The negatively charged particles are moving from the negative end of the battery to the positive end like this. So the rate of the flow of these charges is nothing but the voltage. Right? If there are more number of particles, the negatively charged particles flowing from the negative end to the positive end, then we say the voltage is more. If there are less number of electrons moving, then we say that the voltage is less. So voltage is nothing but it is the force that moves the electron. If the force is more, then more number of negatively charged particles will move. If the force is less, then the voltage will be less. So the voltage is measured in terms of volts, right? The rate of flow of electrons is called voltage. So a small voltage is what? 1.5 volts. You must have seen in the small batteries that we use in toys or in our remote control cars. Those are very, very small voltage, which is approximately 1.5 volts. So we don't get any shock because these are very, very less voltage. But what is a high voltage? Anytime high voltage, you will see such kinds of sign. You must have seen on the generators and on the transformers on the side of the roads. You must have seen these. It's written high voltage and a danger sign like this. So these are high voltage. The this is close to 120 volt. So if we are not cautious about it, and let's say if somebody puts his hand in these kinds of plug, then he might even experience shock, because these are high voltage, right? Now, so we talked about voltage. Voltage is nothing but is the rate of the flow of electric charges. But how do we measure current? Current is measured in amperes. That is, 1 ampere, you can see 6 to 4 and so many 0 electrons per second. That is, if I say that 1 ampere of current is flowing, that means so many electrons are flowing per second. So 1 ampere is so many electrons flowing per second. Yeah, there is difference between voltage and ampere. Voltage is the rate of flow, but ampere is number of electrons flowing. And how many number of electrons will flow in 1 ampere? These many electrons. Such a large number of electrons per second will flow in 1 ampere of current. So thank you for watching Edupedia World videos.